Hello and welcome back to my scraproom. My name is Jennifer Perry and I am an independent consultant for Close to My Heart. Today we are going to be working with the Slice of Happy card kit that is in the Seasonal Expressions catalog. It's in the Seasonal Expressions 2 catalog, which is active from January 1st, 2018 to April 30th, 2018. Now, I'm going to be up front and just say I'm covered in ink. Me and the ink pad got in a fight. The ink pad won, but in the end, I pinned it down, and I think we got some good progress. I'm going to walk you through what I did to make these cards. Now, I went in and did all the stamping ahead of time. I did all the cutting ahead of time. I wanted to just do the assembly with you. So, what comes with the kit? The stamp comes with the kit. And as you can see, I have well loved this stamp. It has been well used. You get a roll of burlap ribbon, and it is blue. It looks kind of like Pacifica. And let's see how well this works, because I haven't done the ribbon part on these cards yet. So you get a roll of burlap ribbon. We will be using the Archival Black, the Crystal Blue, Cranberry, and Sapphire inks. You will need your heat gun, because it made a world of difference when I started using the heat gun. You will need your watercolor pencils or your markers, or both. I used a combination of both. And I have a water pen. This one doesn't have water in it at the moment. Or a blending pen. Totally up to you which one you want to use. And the colors that I'm using for the alcohol markers are B262, BR16 or 116 clay, R11, and Y222 are the colors that I'm using. And I'll walk you through what I did there. I also had better success using my Misty stamping tool than I did with a block. So I just wanted to let you know that. And then I'm also going to be using my tiny attacher. You are welcome to make bows, but I came up with something easier for myself, so I'm going to be using my tiny attacher. So, the first card that we are making today is actually the one that was the easiest for me to put together. And I thought it was going to be the hard one, because of the cutting of the angles. Now, I say that, but I haven't put it together yet. So let's see if it proceeds to kick my butt. So we're going to need 6 card bases. So there's 6 card bases. I'm going to leave the others in their wrapping because of how dark the ink is. I do not want them to get stained. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have already placed my name on the back of my cards. So I'm not going to fold them just yet, because sometimes it's easier for me to work with them not folded and then fold them later. I just have to start working with it and see which one's the easiest option for me. So we have our sentiment, our mat, some pre-cut ribbon. I just cut it to a length. There's no measurement on this. I just cut it to length to what I thought it needed. And then there's an oddball cut in here. I don't remember which one it is. It's that one. Now, I have to tell you the easiest way that I made this cut. On the instructions, it says to measure, then use the trimmer to make the cut. The way I found it easier is I measured 1 inch and I want to say it was 1 1/4 inches, and then I put a tick line right there, and then I took my ruler and made a line, and then I just cut along that line with my scissors. And then for this one, it was 1 inch, so I made the tick mark right there, took my ruler, made a line, and just cut along the line. So these are this one. Keep that turned that way. Keep that turned that way. It's not exact. That doesn't look right. That looks better, but not exact. Not sure if that's the look they're going for, but that's what we're getting. So, alright. So we'll just pretend we did that right. So what I did is I stamped the sentiment in black and cranberry, and then I stamped the actual pizza in the archival black. Heat set everything. I watercolored the actual pizza slice yellow. I took my blending brush, or I took my water brush, depending on which one you want to use, and I blended it out, and then I heat set it to dry it. And then I used my alcohol markers on the candles, the flame, the pepperoni, and the crust. Heat set that, and let everything dry. Then, because I don't want to do a bow, I just made a little V and used my tiny attacher. So that's the only things that I did ahead of time besides cut everything out. So if you should like, we will get started. I think I am going to fold the card because it appears that we're going to go this direction. And this direction, and of course. So let's play with this for a minute because I don't like those cuts. I don't like the way that looks. So we can either do black or silver. I think I like the black. Alright, so we're changing the card on the fly because I don't like the way those cuts look at all. I either did something wrong or I don't like it. So we're switching this up. Yep, okay. Just double checking myself. So see, even though Close to My Heart gave me a pattern, it is truly up to me what the finished product is going to look like. If I liked the way those cuts came out, which obviously I did something wrong, I don't know what I did, but obviously I did something wrong, and they're not going to come out properly. But if they had, and I liked the way it was coming out, I could have left it alone. But since it didn't, and I don't, I have the freedom to make the design change. Any way I need it to be. So I will show you how this is going to work out. And if you hear anything, I want dark or light. I think we want light. Okay. If you hear anything, I have both puppies in here again. So, if you hear moaning, the Chihuahua is trying to get comfortable. And Puddles just doesn't understand what's going on, so there's no telling what she's going to do. And since I'm totally, yeah. So that's ours. Okay, so I found some 3M score tape. Not score tape. Some 3M foam tape. This is close to my heart, and this is 3M. And the 3M is slightly thinner than the close to my heart. So what I was thinking is that it would be perfect for putting cards in the mail because it's not quite as thick. So I bought some. I want to try it and see how it does. I'm not sure. This is my first roll, but you know what? We'll see. And then I want to add some sparkles. Now I use a craft knife to place my sparkles. You may use whatever you are comfortable with to place your sparkles. But if you choose to use a craft knife, please be mindful that it can and will cut you before you realize that you are bleeding. And the other thing to remember is when you use sparkles on a card that is going through the mail, it might possibly make the postage go up. So that's that one. Let's keep going. So this one is the one that's not here. So we will just keep trucking along. This kit makes 6 cards of 2 designs. So you end up with 12 cards. And honestly, I should not have had the issues that I had stamping, except I did silly things like not heat setting my inks before I sprayed them. So I did that once, and of course the spray wet the paper and the inks started running. It was the Pacifica ink at that time. It was not archival ink. And silly things like get almost done and drop the ink pad on the stamped images page that I was it's just crazy things happened this time. So I ended up having to restamp everything like 5 times until I finally was able to get through all the stamping and get 6 stars. And I'll show you them when we're done. But the good thing is for 5 of those, I was stamping in Pacifica, and I realized, hey, wait a minute, they're stamping in crystal blue. So how about I stamp in crystal blue, and then I use a darker marker, one of the darker markers, and distress it a little bit. So that's what I did, and it ended up looking really nice. So I'll show you that in just a moment. But oh yeah, me and the stamps was a comedy of errors. Last night I finally gave up and just went and got a cup of coffee and some cookies and just went, I'll try again tomorrow. Had ink from head to toe. It was just hilarious. Okay, so what I did with the ribbon is I basically just folded it in half. And then, well, which way do I like better? We'll do that one. I folded it in half, stuck it on the card, kind of in the middle, and then I just took my tiny attacher, right there. and it's got one staple. So they're not all going to look perfect, but that's okay. Saves me the trouble of trying to tie a bow. Y'all know how I feel about tying bows. I even watched a video yesterday on how to tie a bow. And by the time she was done tying the bow, I literally sat there and went, nah, I'm good. Don't need bows that bad. So the bitty sparkles do not come in the kit. It's just something that I'm adding extra. I have a little spinner wheel of extra supplies that are just within reach that I may want to use. So, just a little different trinkets from past kits or whatnot that I just leave over here. And if they fit the project I'm using, then they get used. If they don't, I figure it out. I've had a lot of comments asking me where I get the stamp with my name on it. I literally was watching Jennifer McGuire one day, because who doesn't watch Jennifer McGuire? And she was showing her mailing supplies. That's it, how she organized her mailing supplies. And she showed this, there's a bitty sparkle right there. She showed how she mails her cards, and she showed her stamp that literally is Jennifer McGuire on the back, and her web address. And I went, are you kidding me? I love that. So she's named off the company that she had hers made at, and I looked them up, and while it was a very gorgeous stamp, I could not justify $25 for one image. Especially since it's not the only stamp that I've ever bought. I've got one for Close to My Heart that I've had for 13 years. And when I'm in the mood, I use it. And, you know, but 90% of the time now I use my name stamp. But before that I was using labels. But I just couldn't, in my brain, justify the cost of that stamp. So I just started researching custom-made stamps. And I found a seller on eBay. And it was, I think I paid like $6 for the stamp and then $6 for shipping. Because it's come from overseas. I can't quite remember where it came from. But it came from Singapore. It came from Singapore. So we went, you know, I showed him what I was looking for, and he emailed a drawing, which is exactly what you see, and it was absolutely exactly what I wanted. So we put the approval on it and paid for the design, and it was supposed to be like a 2-month wait because of shipping and customs and whatnot, and we received it very quickly, not even 2 months. And it's unmounted, so I had to sacrifice a block and mount it. I sacrificed a clear block so I could actually see what I was doing. And it's been working beautifully ever since. And I got it probably 6 months ago. Not long after I started doing videos. So this tiny attacher has become my new best friend, because it just adds a little bit of industry. Of course, I'm an office supply freak. I love office supplies. You put me in an office supply store and I'm a happy girl. But I don't know why I resisted getting one for so long. And I don't know why. And I finally broke down and bought one, and I towed it everywhere. I'm almost tempted to buy a second one just to keep in my craft bag that goes with me everywhere, so I have one on my desk and one on my craft bag. It's that silly when all I have to do is dig that out. So this really does, once you get the, once you get the stamping done, this does not take long to go through it. The stamping wasn't all that bad. I just had to, A, get my ducks in a row and get it done right the first time. And B, I just put a book on. Stamping does not come naturally to me. I'm not what I would call a stamper. So for me, when I stamp, it's always a struggle. I think that's one of the reasons why I did not go with Stampin' Up. They have gorgeous supplies, gorgeous stamps, but their name is Stampin' Up, and I just am not a stamper. I try. When you see an image, you don't see what it takes me to do in the background, to where I've got a friend of mine that she stamps it, colors it, shades it, and I'm like, really? Really? That's pretty, but did you have to show off like that? So we joke about that, because she says, oh, I want it to be like this, and boink, it's like that. To where I have to physically make 27,000 images to get the one that I want. But stitching on paper I do. And she doesn't get that concept. So it evens out in the end. I'm always scared I'm going to cut the spine. I don't know if that's a valid fear or irrational, but I'm always scared I'm going to cut the spine. And then you get a card and it's got a little hole in the spine. So I'm using score tape in lieu of Tombow for my cards. I like Tombow, but to me score tape is a little bit of a better hold. Yes. Because in the Texas heat I have had Tombow fail, and then my friend or whoever's receiving the card opens the card and it's like puzzle pieces. So I personally prefer score tape when I'm making a card. There we go. Did I put? No, I didn't. I have to go back and put the Sparkies on. I put the sparkles off my desk and then I forgot to put them on the card. Guys, I cannot wait to get to the other room, get moved in, get the desk built, get moved in, and have actual square footage to spread out a little bit. Now I realize you guys aren't going to be able to see but this much, but I'm actually going to have room to put stuff to where it's not going to fall off the table, because right now I'm literally on the edge of the table. In fact, my husband, you guys know he's a nerd. We lovingly call him a geek, but you guys know that he's all things computer, and he bought a pair of VR goggles because the price is starting to come down, and he wanted to be able to play with them. So he bought a pair of VR goggles, and he has literally taken the square footage of the room and laid out the furniture the way it's going to be built, laid out the island that he's going to build, and then called me in last night and said, okay, sit down and come up to the table and tell me if everything is the right height and the right length. And he is just having the best time designing my room. So I got to see, I guess what you could call a mock-up last night in the VR goggles. And now I'm just beside myself, super excited, ready for this to happen. The closet is smaller than the closet that's in here. And I won't have the wall space in the closet because there's a window. I don't know why there's a window in the closet, but there is. So we'll have to work around that, but I'm going to gain quite a bit of square footage in the room. And then with the new storage options, maybe I won't need quite as much room in the closet. And I'm sure I'll do a bit of purging. Because I'm sure after, see, I've been a consultant for 13 years, and he built this room before I was a consultant. So I've been in this room about 14 years. So it's time for a good shovel out, a purging session, because I'm sure there's stuff in the closet I haven't seen. In fact, we were talking about this in the consultant meeting that I had on Monday. One of the consultants asked, what is the oldest item in your scrap room that you have hoarded? And she was talking about paper. And I had to giggle because if you're a long-term close to my heart consultant, you remember the paper that we had that was kind of Hawaiian themed, surfboard themed, called Moondoggie. And I bought it, and I loved it so much that I actually bought like 6 packets of it and a full pack of cardstock for each color featured, and I bought all the stickers, and I bought, basically if it said Moondoggie, I bought it. And I put it away because we were supposed to take Michaela on a cruise for graduate. No, we were supposed to take Michaela to Hawaii for graduation. Well, that didn't happen because she wanted to go to Paris. So we could afford to send her to Paris. We stayed home. So I have all this Moondoggie in my closet. I looked at it last night. Moondoggie was 2009. Because my husband was joking that it's not quite 10 years, so it can't be considered hoarding yet. 2009 is when I put all that paper away. So I need a cruise. I need my husband to take me on a cruise so I can use that paper. Because I don't want to hoard the paper. I want to use it. It's meant to be used. Something sticky. Okay, we're almost done. I gotta put the film tape on this one, and then we've got one more card, and then we can start with the other one. You know, guys, I think I like this better than the original. Oh, I did put it away. Okay. Okay, so I've got one more card to put together for this design. Okay. I'm cutting a little bit extra because I don't know which direction I'm gonna actually put it down, and I don't want to be short on one end because I'm known for that. And then you're sitting there going, oh, that looks stupid. I am considering a purchase. I don't know if you guys have been watching all of the scrapbooking launches because it is launch season. And Tim Holtz has come out with a product that I am giving serious consideration to. He has come out with the glass multimedia mat, and I'm intrigued. The only reason I haven't ordered it yet is because in the new room my tabletop is going to be galvanized steel, and A, I want to see how the color translates to video, and B, you can't hurt that at all. Yeah, I mean, I've got it over on my other desk and it still looks brand new. But I am seriously considering using it for my filming station, the galvanized glass. I'm considering using the glass multimedia, because if you get anything stuck, like I just had some sparkles stuck there, and this is just a backdrop that I ordered. It's a photo backdrop that I liked because my desktop being white was too stark and the camera was having trouble with it. So I decided to darken it up a little bit. But if anything gets stuck on it, it can tear. So I'm interested to see which one I'm going to end up with, if it's just going to be the galvanized steel or if it's going to be the glass mat. So this is the last one of this design. So I will set it aside. I'll show, well, we'll do a comparison as soon as I'm done with the other design. So I'm going to put my sparkles away so I don't lose them. I'm going to put my craft knife away. I'm going to get out my other card bases. Okay, so there's my other card bases. And then we have this. And these that I've cut to size. That is the mat. These are the stars. Let's do it that way. That works. Alright, so is this the full card or no? Nope. Oh, yay, cool. Alright. So we will just be twiddling right along, and I will show you what we did. So this one is your star. It can be a birthday card, it can be a report card, it can be congratulations, promotion, any kind of card. It does have a bit of a space theme. But I like it. My tape is giving me grief today. Alright, so we're going to put this down. And then we're going to cool, alright. This is the mat. You want the darker side of the cardstock. And I just stuck my hand in it. Alright, so we're going to, this goes all the way across. Alright, that works. I've already set it down. And then this goes up here. That's a bit wide, so we'll use our thinner one. Where you going, Puddles? Where are you going? Okay, so this, you're kind of going, that's not a very good stamp, but just bear with me. Bring it down some. There we go. Alright, that works. And then we're going to put this down. There's a method to my madness. Just bear with me for a moment. I'll show you. There we go. So we're going to take the ribbon, put the ribbon right there, and trim off the excess. Okay, that doesn't cut very well. All right, be mindful of that. It doesn't cut very well. Make sure your adhesive is good. And then I'm going to take a bit of the foam tape, put on the back of the star. Now this is the star that I stamped. I stamped it in crystal blue, and then I took the darker of the alcohol markers and went around it to color the edges, and then I also used my shimmer brush to add some sparkle because it's supposed to be a star. I'm going to just line this up. So there's the card. So we're just going to keep on trucking. Put that there. I'm going to put these two together. And then, oh look, it brought me the ribbon. But before the ribbon, we need the candy cane stripe. Now we can do the ribbon. Guys, I just bought these scissors from Tim Holtz. It's, again, with all the releases, they are going to release new scissors, but the scissors are going to have the black handles. And I've been wanting these scissors for a while, but I was just like, yeah, the little ones are fantastic, but well, finally, when they said they were going to change the color, I broke down and bought a pair. Because if I was going to buy them, I wanted the red, because it helps me find them on my desk. So I broke down and bought the red. And I have to say, I'm quite happy with them. Yeah, they're definitely living up to the hype. I have to get used to them because I'm so used to working with tiny scissors. But there's times when you want a big pair of scissors, and these are it. I really, really wish, close to my heart, had a big pair like this. Because I would own about 12 of them if they did. I finally, when I broke down and bought, because these are my seriously old cutter bees. But I keep them over here because they're yellow and I can find them on, when I'm working quickly. But I have probably 6 or 7 pair of the close to my heart ones. And when they finally came out with the Teflon ones, I put all of the stainless steel ones in my glass box and bought Teflon ones for my personal use. And I love them. They are the best, but sometimes you need a big scissor. They are heavy, so if you're doing a lot of cutting work, they might get a bit heavy for you. And we are trucking right along. This card honestly is the stamping gave me the longest issue. I had the hardest time trying to get this one stamped out, and it really wasn't that hard. It's just I was making the stupid errors. And yes, I said they're stupid. I can do that because they were my errors. Like, I know to heat set. Did I heat set? No. But I know to heat set. I learned my lesson when I ruined 6 stars. And had to restamp them again. Or when I dropped a stamp pad on my workstation and had to restamp them again. So just little things like that. I think if you didn't have the comedy of errors that I had, it should not take long to cut them out. Because what you're stamping this actual image, this image twice, but you're cutting the star out on this one. You're stamping 12 images, but you're cutting half of them. To get the desired look. I guess we're down to one puppy. I'll tell you, it's been kind of nice having a puppy in the scrap room again. I lost my scrapping pug. He died a year ago. And it would have been near impossible to film videos with him. Because he's a pug, and what do pugs do famously when they're sleeping? They snore. And he was a champion snorer. So I would have either had videos with a snoring pug in the background, which could have been comical, or I would not have been able to film. But he was 16 when he died. And there was not a day, not one day, even when he was elderly, that if I was in here, he was not in here with me. If I had things to do, he was going to be with me, darn it. Didn't matter what time, didn't matter when, didn't matter what was going on. He would drag his blanket and join me. So, and Tinky has never done this before. She typically sticks with Sister. But Sister is at school. So Tinky wants Human. And Human is working, so I moved her bed in here. And all her little blankets. So that she can be with Human and be in her bed. Starting to get a assembly line going. It's getting faster because I've got an assembly line going. When you make multiples of cards, this is truly the fastest way to do it. You make all the cuts at one time and all the stamping at one time, and then you do all the assembly at one time. And it really is the fastest way to do it. Okay. Oh, I hear the mailman coming. Okay, so this ribbon leaves fibers all over the place. So be mindful of that whenever you are using it. So let's try this again. Okay. Where this ribbon is just wanting to be everywhere but where it's supposed to be. Okay. Now we need the star. Then we're on our last card and we'll wrap it up. Oh goodness, somebody is having a ball at the park. I hear a wee child out there just squealing. It is about 70 degrees outside. It's been freaking cold. And all the little children are wanting to get outside. They're going stir crazy. So I imagine they're all outside playing. So if you hear a random squeal or a random scream, I'm surrounded by 3 parks. So there's no getting around random squeals. Oh, I need that. Now I can put it away. If you're following along, there is the birthday card that we finished with the pizza slice on it. I do have a couple of changes on it. I changed the shimmer trim when I realized I made one of my cuts bad. Didn't feel like messing with it. Instead of tying a bow, I used my tiny attacher to just attach a piece of ribbon. And I also added the bitty sparkles to this one. And then for this one, the only thing that I did extra is there's also supposed to be a little bow here. I did not put the bow on there. I added the shimmer brush to the star. I added the distressing to the star. The star is actually supposed to be part Pacifica, part crystal blue. And I didn't want to do the rocking stamp technique. To me it felt like it would not do well. So I just did one single color and then distressed it in the other color. And did the ribbon, and it turned out really cute. I like this one. This has a lot of uses in my brain. So if you liked what you saw today and you enjoyed the workshop, please subscribe below so that you can get other videos that I launch every Monday. If you'd like a copy of this workshop for yourself, please follow the links below to my Scraproom. And the links go to my online Close to My Heart store. So again, this is the Slice of Happy card kit. I enjoyed my time with you today. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.